Hey everybody, we're going to jump back into this quick draft here. I'm not going to do an opening pitch because for YouTube viewers, you've already seen that. And for live folks, they're already huge Card Kingdom fans. So I don't need to worry about that. I'm going to show you the deck though. Here we are. This is our first attempt on stream at a quick draft. Now, where do we land on this one? Basically, green-black with a double splash for Retribution, Showdown, Demon Bolt, Fall, Master Scald. So the double white is a little oppressive, but we've got the tools for it. So we're being greedy on this front here too. We were talking about what level of greed. Well, this is how greedy we're being here. So let's... I know, Brent. I'm just joking around, but it's funny. Yeah, the breadth of taste among my listeners is awesome, and I love the sharing. I don't love this hand. You can make an argument to keep with the faithful, but I think we got to throw this back. Tron says keep. We're not... Well, how many green sources do we have? Let's look. We've got... Stronghold is green, right? Yeah, so we got 8. We only have 8 green sources, so it's no great certainty that we're going to find one. We are on the draw, though, so we have extra time. We do have a faithful on 3 if it all goes horribly awry, but I think we're going to be happier on a mulligan, so I'm doing it. Demon Bolt can't be cast yet, but this is keepable. We could ship the Plains, but then we're far away from Lindy. We could ship the Lindy because we're just far away from it. Could send in the Mass Vandal, and then we shuffle up and find it later. I kind of like the Bolt just because it's so powerful, and we can foretell it. Like, we can actually we can pay for 2/3 of it now. But yeah, Vandal isn't really a 2-drop, and Gladewalker is... So I'm going to ship the Vandal on the strength of the Demon Bolt as a spell. Because when we're down a card, so we need to make our cards count, and this one is a card that really does count if we can get there. This is our green-black deck. Yep. Just an average day of life in our green-black deck here. I'm going to go ahead and Walker as a 2/2. Not super exciting, but it can start attacking, and this is this thing to do on 3. Well, our turn to Valky? Probably. And we can't wait till 7 here, and we don't have anything else to do but take out, foretell the Bolt. So let's see what they've got. Well, the Arnie and the Struggle say it almost doesn't matter. Whatever, these are going to be used on the Valky, so it really doesn't matter in the sense. But what we can do is hold them off for a turn. Like I like. Maybe we can play Guardian, and then if they don't kill it immediately, we at least get to play the Guardian. But they're just going to kill it immediately, right? It doesn't really matter. I guess I'll take the Guardian on the idea that if they mess up, we could actually cast this. Oh, Valky Transform. Sorry, I was thinking we cast it. I should read my spells. So then... What's the... Well, I gotta pick. It doesn't... And it doesn't really matter again. I don't think it matters because I think they're going to snap it off. I was at 0 hourglasses running this down, so maybe the bigger thing would have been better, but I just feel like they're going to kill the Valky anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Right. I was thinking that's why I chose this with time running down, that I feel like if they give us a window, we could actually do something with it. But it just, here is it not mattering as expected. Although they didn't have red yet. Yeah, that's true. They needed a land. So it would have given us that one turn, right? Let's go ahead and Faithful. Is that Chris? How you been? Hananga there is my old colleague and friend, Chris Kelly. Can I promote Chris? Oh, I gotta add you as a friend. Huh. That's gonna give you powers, but I don't know if I want to give Chris Kelly powers around here anyway. Chris is great. He's a better player than me, and one of my top challenges when I was working at Wizards. We played each other a ton. Because there's a lot of inter-office Magic play at Wizards. You're playing in lots of corporately Wizards-sponsored leagues and whatnot. And Chris and I would always seek each other out to have our battles. And also, Chris, as he used jokes, often would stand behind me or somebody else, and he was a watcher. Chris is the guy who watches you play and calls you out on everything. Like, imagine Dionysus, but like an excellent Magic player. And then you get Chris behind me at work. Let's see. We're not getting the goods here. What are we? We're a elf deck? I forget what we are. I guess we're elves, right? Sometimes you're warriors. No, we're elves though, right? Yeah, we're elves. Oh, warrior? Are we warrior? Most of the elves are warriors. Okay, warriors. Are you still at WotC, Chris? How's it going there if you are? And what are you up to if not? I gotta keep taking this. Nice. I thought they had just hired somebody else to do that when I left, so maybe that person didn't work out? I don't know. What am I doing here, though? Let's see. But clearly you have Chris. You can blame everybody if you have issues. Chris probably let it all happen. If he had just done his job better, there'd be no bugs in this game. Exactly. QA. No, I represent for QA all the time. Oh, sorry, I should play quickly. I'm going to play the Scald because we're up against it here. No value Scald. Well, slight value. But the point I make about QA all the time is because the complaint you hear from gamers or often is, I can't believe there's that bug. Why? How did they not catch that? How did they not catch that? Right? You hear that all the time. Most of the time, the answer is they did catch that, and somebody above them said, ship it anyway. That's how that works. The hard splash hurting us a little bit here, but we're playing this because we know that if we do get it, it's just that powerful. But we do get a Lindy to stabilize here. Yeah, you just have to have the Trump style, Chris. You know, all this testing All this testing. Of course our bug count is going up. There's all this testing. I usually made fans in QA because I was good at writing repro steps. I always love a good repro step. Well, at least they traded. And we've got feed. I should see about winning this magic game. Our splash is coming up way short right now. Where's all our fixing? We do have, I swear we have reasonable fixing. I swear this is not unreasonable. But as always, heck, you can have mana issues in 2-color decks, much less technically 4. All right. This is an instant, so I think we just continue to wait for better stuff or planes to make this go. See where they put this counter at the very least. Maybe blow out another attempt at a fight spell. Yeah, we can let that happen and feed it after they make more decisions. Bergie boy.
All right, everyone, chill.
This is interesting because we do have a Gladewalker Pretender double block on the 4/4 Packmate that if they have no tricks is a 1-for-1 for our Pretender. Ostensibly, we're going to get the Pretender big enough to do something on this board, though, and we're at 16. So I like feeding the Arcanist as a problem big boy here, but then just taking 4 and seeing if we can't grow the Pretender, give us ourselves a chance to get this big enough to help manage this board. Lunatics. Is that one of our viewers? Is that... I feel like we have a Lunatics around these parts, don't we? Oh, too bad. Just about to get a little bit bigger here, but maybe we can... Let's see. If we put the counter on the Scald, we untap with a 5/5, and that blocks everything here, so that's what we're going to try. Yeah, we can pump the Faithful, but it still just makes a bunch of trades. I'd rather try and next turn get one creature that can actually block and eat on this board. Thank you, Colossal Plow. You must have a new account. Or quite prescient. I can't believe they made a card after my name! That's a guy from a time long ago, Chris. Although, if you haven't seen that, you should hook Chris up with a link to my to that video. Have you seen where that came from, Chris? I think you'd like that. That was a little gift to chat that I did. It's got some insider, inside jokes that you won't quite get, but you'll get enough of it. This 5/5 is going to be so important if we can untap. Wow. A lot of value just hit the yard for both sides. And we're going to take all this and try to stabilize on untap. Yeah, this wasn't exactly castable. It's powerful, though, that's all I was saying. Yikes! Oh, man. Well, now we're chumping, looking for an answer. Well, we could throw it... I guess we could throw everything, but then we're just dead to everything else. So we got to chump here looking for something. Okay, well... I mean, I'm fine with the swing away, because either we're dead... and we got to chump the 7/8 no matter what. So if they're going to give us some options on the other stuff, fair. Yeah, right. I think putting all the eggs in this basket wasn't correct. If they give a couple of things to get around the to either trade or get around the scald, we're in serious trouble. Triple block, then what? I don't think we can win after a triple block, whereas we could have a chance if we find something to eliminate or pin down the Strider immediately, right? Well, we didn't. So, punished by our base, we basically mulliganed twice here after mulliganing already. So we mulliganed into 2 uncastable cards, and that's about it. That is remains my debut and only single, Chris. Oh, I thought you were joking about the song. I don't have any hits. That's why, there was nothing to save us there. There were no outs after. When we draw it, we had many Bergie outs. If we went Bergie into Bergie into Bergie, we might have been able to stabilize there. But I don't think there was realistic. Oh, sorry, that's the other deck. I didn't even have Bergies in that deck. I'm getting confused on what deck I'm even playing. What were our outs there? Now I'm curious. Since obviously Bergie wasn't one, and we could have gone. Man, maybe we were just straight out. Lindworm would have been helpful. Feed we'd already used. So I think we were pretty screwed there. Reaper, yeah, Reaper on the block is about it. Do you believe, AJ? All right, Sentinel into Berserker Fang actually gives us some fixing. Yeah, that was real rough. We were not looking good there. And was that our friend? Where's where is he? Maybe it wasn't him. Ring is interesting. Now we get Berserker on 2, Ring on 3, Scald on 5 if we wanted it, although I don't even know if we'll want to. Gonna go with the Berserker here. I try to save the Disciples for later if possible, and this is more beats. We also have a couple of the +1/+1 counter 2-drops that if we throw a counter on the Berserker, it dies into a 2/2, so that would be nice. All right, we got some ramp here and some fixing. We're going to try and go make a 7-mana Planeswalker as opposed to dropping a Valky here. Yeah, I like Faithful after an attack. Let's see what they do here after we attack. Let's see. The reason to go Ring, if we do find a basic land, then we get a... But I don't even want to cast a Scald earlier, so yeah, we go Faithful here. Oh, that's a good point. Maybe I'm just playing into Doomscar. Does that mean we don't play this? Maybe? Yeah, maybe this is a Doomscar blowout, but... Okay, it's not. It's a fair thing to be worried about, but I don't know how we don't develop... I guess we go Ring at that point. We could go Ring if we wanted to play around Doomscar. And yes, we can Ring into Disciple here, but we're going to attack first. And if we basic land next turn, we can even Valky. Because of the Sentinel.
Some say I never heard of ya, a rap burglar.
I can't see how they have Doomscar if presented with a 3-for-1, they went for the Yeti instead. Unless, you know, they just... Oh, they don't have... Maybe they don't have double white yet. Ah, maybe it's no double white yet. Could be. Didn't find our basic land. We can play Fall of the Imposter, though. That's a reasonable thing to play out on this board. I guess they could, you know, end up finding the planes and Doomscarring, and then this doesn't get anything. But we can put a Fall counter on the Berserker. Then these both trade, and if the Berserker dies, we get a 2/2, and also getting a counter on the Berserker means that if it is Doomscar, and if they do Doomscar, we at least have one creature left over. All right. Yeah, this is a little awkward in paper because of the memory issues. But you can put a little piece of paper on it or something, but that's super inelegant, right? All right, let's upgrade another 2/2. Thank you for that sub. Thanks, Prof. I didn't realize you hadn't seen that. You've been around a while. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 is not 7, so we are in question. I think we just need to keep pressing our onboard advantage. I think the sniffing out the Doomscar is probably correct. And trading off the Yeti here. Oh, maybe I should have sent everything. if we're worried about Doomscar, but let's see, would we have taken 7 damage for a trade-off? Yeah, probably. Probably should have just swung everything. Get a couple extra damage. But I'm going to continue to hold now. We're going to wait. Oh, that's true. Maybe they're just... oh, wow. They're playing that right into Chapter 3. That's really interesting. Maybe they just didn't think about that. That was just throwing away a creature on their part. And Wrath doesn't take Planeswalkers, so this is great. I'm just going to pump... Oh, they're just going to scoop. Okay. Yeah, it's easy to forget those late chapters. I've done that too. No shame for Mappo there. Magic is tough. Keeping all the pieces of the puzzle is tough. You miss onboard stuff and feel silly, but your brain is not really evolutionarily designed to keep in mind the 27 million things happening in a single game of Magic. That's why it's challenging and hard and skill testing. All right, I like that we made it to 3, at least 50-50 with this deck. It's not great, but it is very weird. It's very weird. Very much emblematic of this format, I think. Hard to resist greedy splashes. Quick Draft is paired based on rank, so you do end up playing some decent players in Quick Draft because they are... high. If you're decent, you're going to be playing against decent largely. Well, more awkward hands for our deck. I'm going to keep this one. Any land gives us a mentor with a Gold Vein pick around, which should help with these. But it's another... I don't know. Now J-Rod shows up? What is this? This is weird. J-Rod is presumably old buddy Jason. Jason was someone I played Magic with a lot more often and regularly back at the shop that Marshall cut his teeth on. So Jason is a guy that came into my Magic life through meeting Marshall at Marshall's shop, I believe. Is that right, J-Rod? Assuming it's the J-Rod I'm thinking of. Haven't seen you in like 15 years or something, but glad to see you around here, buddy. See you around Facebook. All right, nothing to do on 3, but prepare for vengeance. We'll do that. So yeah, it's kind of funny that Jason and Chris have randomly decided to give me blasts from my Magic past here today, but great to see them both. So we've got Reaper into Gladewalker or just Mentor for the double. Mentor is interesting. The 1/1 threatens the Raider, but we could also turn this into a 3/4 Death Touch, which blocks like everything. Yeah, Reaper pick swing is fine too. It does... Then we get Gladewalker after. Okay, I'm down with it because we get Gladewalker after. I wouldn't do it if we didn't get to cast a stabilization play afterwards. And I do like putting the counter here, threatening Gladewalker on Raider, and accepting this or the hasty of whatever they cast here. Always a possibility, but we can move the pick, so We haven't lost a 4-5. Why not save the treasure? Because I feel like we're going to still connect for treasure, and I didn't think this was going to happen. Like, obviously, they got there, but consider that 4-5 was out of bolt range, so they kind of needed basically the deal 5 to tapped or this type of removal to keep us from getting a treasure immediately. But let's do this here. Over moving. I guess we could move and attack, and but they might trade, and then we would be stuck without anything else to do, so I'm going to do this. Pup has attacks, but if nothing else does, that's a good sign. Means that, I mean, they're not representing anything here by not attacking, and they didn't cast something huge and give it haste. So all things considered, so far this is kind of what I was hoping for from Oppo. But let's see what they follow with here. That's interesting. I suppose they did that because if they hasted it up, they weren't going to attack into the Mentor anyway. Makes some sense. We could suit up the Mentor and send in. They only have blocks if they block the Braggart, which they're not going to do. And then we can move the equipment and threaten Gladewalker plus... Well, I guess we can't. Yeah. I guess we need to stay back and threaten the Braggart. But I would like to get some treasure. We'll move this, though. Pick threatens the Braggart, so we gotta keep the Mentor back for that. And again, they didn't show tricks, so I presume that unless they draw something specific, the Braggart, the Mentor does have a block on the Braggart here. Jim, again, I think I can't worry too, like... Maybe I was supposed to assume they had removal and ask myself, what do I do if they have removal for the Reaper, and do we want to use that treasure? But as soon as we committed to the treasure play, I did not want to leave my board undeveloped. And so saving that treasure would have meant not playing the Gladewalker and leaving us to this huge crackback, as opposed to playing something that threatens their 2-1 nicely. Well, continues to suggest they don't have anything else based on how they're attacking, but let's see if this works out. Really? But the Glade, if the Glade had been a 2-2, all of their attacks were exactly the same. I felt like I wanted to mess up their attacks more. Let's see. Speaking of messing up attacks, this is going to get problematic, but we're close to getting this going. Got to try and get a treasure here. Let's put it on the... Let's put it on the Guardian because... No, let's put it on the token. And see if we can't get treasure. Oppo pausing. Let's see. Oh, pausing because of cavalry. Cavalry explains the pause. We could play Valky if we were worried about the hand, but that doesn't seem right. At this point, where our big trouble is the Maskwood Nexus going long on us, and Valky on Planeswalker could really help us with that, being behind in that way. Still not hasting things up with the cavalry. I keep waiting for this cavalry to turn a 5-power creature into a hasty boy, but it's not hit us yet. All right, now we can at least try and stabilize with Lindy ahead of the Planeswalker. Splashes can look ridiculous until you see the whole deck. They always have risk, even when they are justified, but we have the tools here. Also, we need to play to the cards we have. I can't pull cards out of my collection to play, so over what is always the question. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's close to dead. Surprised they took... Oh, we are just dead. Did they just not do the math? That was quite a slow roll there, Oppo. Yeah. I guess I expect faster math, but it's all right. Well, all right, that ends that one. Weird deck, wasn't that great. 3-3, probably appropriate. Had some bombs, but really we got punished. You know, anybody frustrated by the willy-nilly nature of splashes in this format, I think it was correct. Again, I think it was correct to splash here. And if you look at, what do we have for Demon Bolt? We had Sentinel, Pick, Ring, Frost, Meadow, and Mire, so 6 sources of red, 6 sources for a single red, and then the double white a little trickier with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the double. So if you didn't like the double white, or I think it was 7, I guess we got, because if there was 6 red, there's got to be 7 white, right? So you see, like 7 sources of white, 6 of red, and then we're still fine on our core colors. I think it was totally correct to run these. It's just, it's still a possibility that despite all that great fixing, you're not going to get there, and we sure didn't in a couple of games, and it cost us. It's just one of the price you're paying for the power level increase with those splashes. But we'll take the prize here. That's fair. If you want to knock off, if you want to call it 6-5 instead of 7-6, that's totally fair. But you can still see why we ended up there, especially given all our alternatives. So, are you going to play one of the more powerful rares in the format off of a 6-color, 6-source, 6.5, 6+ pick splash? Or are you going to play something much, much weaker that you're going to be able to cast more reliably? I don't know. That's Magic. I like that the format presents some of that challenge. It's just much like, what was the card that Luis was saying? It was the Saga, the uncommon black-blue Saga that swaps permanents. Luis's point on that one was that you can feel like it's better than it is because every time it gets resolved, it wrecks you. Because your opponent only ever resolves it when it wrecks you. They are holding it in hand when it doesn't wreck you. And similarly, if you're you're like, oh my God, I am playing 2 colors and I'm stuck on 1 color. My opponent is on 4 colors and has all 4 on turn 4, and now I'm getting wrecked by bombs, right? That really feels bad. But much like the Saga, you're forgetting the times where you beat your opponent and they had 3 cards left in hand and decent mana and you don't know what exactly was going on. Well, their greedy splash was probably shooting them in the foot that game and might have contributed to your win and didn't even know about it. So it's hard to know when Oppo's greed is really rewarding you if they're just cards that are stuck in hand that you can't see. So thinking about that. Anyway, still fun to check out the bots. Thank you for hanging out for that. YouTube friends, we'll catch you the next draft. I'll take a quick AMA here from Pablo. It's a good one. Also, we're waiting on Marshall. Is he up yet? I mean, on stream, but it might be literally, is he out of bed yet? He's on? Okay, great. I'll do a quick AMA then and send you to Marsh. Hey everyone, had an AMA from Pablo who asks, generally, do you think using Quick Draft to turn gold into gems instead of Premier is viable, especially if you care about collection building and like two drafts worth of cards? Well, you lost me on that last part a bit, and like 2 drafts. Anyway, oh, I see, 2 drafts worth of cards. Yeah, because you're getting, I see what you're saying. To clarify where Pablo is coming from. So if I enter Premier, of course, it's 10,000. And if I enter Quick, it's 5,000. Now, the prize structure is commensurate to that. So the 10,000 entry gives you higher prizes. But Pablo's point is that for 5,000, I just get an extra draft, right? I get to draft twice. So I get 2 drafts worth of cards as opposed to the 1 that you get from Premier. I can't remember if I have Quick Draft calculated out in the spreadsheet. I should look, but it still just comes down to your odds at the end of the day. It still comes down to what are your chances of winning a given game of Quick, and how much do you value the cards in them. So yeah, you get fewer gems back, but you get double the draft cards is what Pablo's point is, Jim. So I would still say that what you want to do is use my spreadsheet to understand your value proposition first of all. And if you tell me that the spreadsheet does not have Quick Draft mapped out, I'll change that, but I think it does. It should have it. I remember it has it. So, and the important thing here, because you talk about your the value of the cards. The spreadsheet does allow you to value in gems the cards that you get from a given draft. So between your win rate and the valuing of the cards that you get out of the draft, you should be able to calculate what the right queue is for you value-wise. But as always, I want to make sure I mention my top line for calculating what the value is for you starts with how you want to play Magic. If you love to draft against humans and hate to draft against bots, you should not bot draft just because it's this much better value or whatever, right? The stuff on Arena tends to be so close together in value and so small in the scheme of things for most people's wallets. You know, I know some of you are really care about every penny, and I respect that, and it's okay, and I'm here to help you. But if you're a flush in life and you can afford an extra, you don't really have to care too much about that on Arena, and you can really, as long as you're doing the core things that generate the huge value generations are making sure you cycle your quests every day, making sure you leave a quest slot open, win 4 times a day, make sure you take advantage of the free stuff in the store, take advantage of the codes in the store and get free stuff from the codes, use a second account when you've played to the point where you've won 4 times in a day, right? All of that stuff is the huge value add. The difference between grinding on Quick versus grinding on Premier is so small in the end that I would really lean towards what you want to do for fun and let go of the corner case, edge case, tiny minutia, granular value. Even though I like to look at it all and take it when I can, fun trumps all of that, and you should do the thing that you find the most fun. Now, yeah, that's a fair point. Pablo says also this is further complicated by Quick Draft netting you more rares the first time the bots have a given set. The bots are tuned based on human drafting, but it is trivial for the folks at Wizards to say, you know what, we're going to have all the bots value rares higher. And so it's also possible that if you're trying to collection build in quick, if the bots are tuned to take rares more highly, you might find that you actually collection build more successfully against human drafters. So keep that in mind as well. All right. Thanks for checking that out, YouTube. Hopefully you find the queue that is right for you. But again, my top line is find your fun and stick to your fun, and don't worry about the value proposition a little bit here or there. And just take advantage of those values when it's easy and free to do so. Okay.